Chapter 2. The Find. It was getting dusky. The trail was becoming spookier by the minute. There must have been a pond close by, since we started hearing croaking in the distance. Maiden season of frogs was apparently in full effect, and they did not shy away from letting everyone know about it. The sounds of nature, traveling like invisible messages in the dark. Frogs stay clasped together for hours or days sometimes. Talk about too much sex. Male hanging off of the female's back while gripping her sides. The so-called maiden embrace and emplexus, like an amphibian gentleman hanging on for his dear life, waiting for eggs to be laid by his partner so he could fertilize them. Seemingly, that's what was going down in the pond. Or do I even know all these Nat Geo facts? Ronnie took a sweet time wrapping up another iteration of her repeated night terror, but I was more focused on the thought that we should have started heading out a while ago. It's no fun trying to navigate yourself out of the woods with nothing but a cell phone's flashlight to guide your step, back from the hiking trails to the paved and reasonably lit pavements of the park. Thick branches of tall trees would not allow for the potential moonlight to aid us in our return. Why do I always have to be a rational one, a sensible twin? Don't be a pussy, Curls, we'll make it back alright. Her nagging commentary wasn't helping either, as we surely veered off the trail or were clearly uncertain as to where we were headed. That didn't stop Ronnie from feigning certainty in her sense of direction, stating that I should just relax and follow her. We slowed down our pace, trying not to twist our ankles on branches and rocks scattered on the ground, trotting away like two somewhat identical turtles, slow and steady, until we saw something sticking out of the bushes ahead of us. That something looked like two muddied up tennis shoes that once had been white, just there, extending from underneath a bushy thicket. We stopped immediately. My heart rate went all the way up, as if I'd just finished running a marathon, beating viciously against my chest cavity. Unintentionally, I gasped and held my breath, in unwelcome anticipation of finding out what's going on, and possibly a belittling remark from Ronnie addressing the sound I'd emitted. The visual did not promise a happy outcome, all dependent on what or who was on the other end of those trainers. Surprisingly enough, even Ronnie didn't make her usual sly comment to alleviate the situation this time. It was not the time for jokes. See that too, Curls? Is that a person lying there? Looks like it. What should we do? I had to remind myself to exhale before I could utter a word, rather than faint on the spot. Gotta go check, make sure they're okay. Of course, she would want to get involved. Are you nuts? If someone is lying face down in the bushes, they are the furthest from okay. What if this person got killed, and we will be putting our fingerprints all over the damn corpse? Better leave that shit alone and act like nothing happened. You know my OCD won't allow it. We have to investigate to find out for sure, so I could sleep tight. And without giving me a chance to come up with a reasonable defense to counteract her impulsive argument, Ronnie stepped up to the shoes and shone her cell phone light on the bush the presumed body was under. Oh shit, Curls, this for sure looks like a person. I wonder what happened here. Maybe someone was just hiking the trail and then had a heart attack or something, fell over and landed into the bushes, because this person is definitely not moving. I told you not to mess with this shit. Come on, Ronnie, we gotta leave. Why was it always so hard to get her to listen to me? Nah, let's take a peek. I need your help, scaredy cat. Come up here and hold the light for me. I knew the only way to get out of this was to actually follow her commands, so we could finally get this over with, sooner than later. It was Ronnie's world, after all. So I did, taking on the role of a lighting guy on the set of a true crime show, unnecessarily getting involved into a real mess, listening to horrendous dreams, then staying out past the sunset, then getting lost in the woods, and now finding a body. Come on, give me a break. I was so terrified that I had to manually remind myself to breathe again before my sorry ass passed out from anoxia. Ronnie parted the branches of the thicket. It was indeed a person lying right there in the dirt, no doubt about it, facing down and not moving a muscle. The body, from where we were standing appeared to be of a young woman, dressed in casual attire, tennis shoes, leggings, and a windbreaker. To make matters worse, the shoulder on her windbreaker was torn up, and there were visible injuries and blood all over her back, making it seem as if someone had roughed her up and repeatedly stabbed her, or some wild animal attacked and got the better of her, which the presence of an animal capable of pulling something like that off was unheard of in the Spark. I thought I was going to vomit. My head was getting dizzy, and that nasty premonition was slowly building up, the pre-throw-up juices climbing up my esophagus. But before I could let it all out, Ronnie reached out to touch the victim, without giving me enough time to utter, "Don't do it!" She produced a sharp shriek. I thought my heart exploded, as if darkness itself pulled me in and dragged me through the forest face down, collecting all debris along the way, my mug being ground down into a flat surface, leaving the pulp and remains of what had once been my profile as it trailed through the woods my facial features traversed. Scary, terrifying, petrifying, nerve-wracking, blood-curdling. Internally, I was shuffling all of the possibilities and words to help in naming and explaining to myself the state I was in. "Shut up, you big dummy. Stop your loud gasping and pick up your jaw. It's not a real body. It's just some sort of realistic test dummy mannequin, lost, disposed of, or abandoned in the woods." I really hate her sometimes. You know, they shoot a bunch of movies and shows in these parts, so it could be one of those props they forgot out here. Ronnie flipped the deceased around, and we saw a strange grimace painted on the mannequin's face, frozen in time. Right away, it was pretty clear the subject had never been a living, breathing person. No chance.
Dream Parade.